This is Late Breaking News.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have some late breaking news to bring you out of Fort Smith. The Tony Alamo Ministries building in Fort Smith on Windsor Drive has just been raided by Arkansas State Police and Fort Smith Police. Police left the scene just about 10 minutes ago. They were on the scene for about 30 minutes. Also, as that raid was going on in Falk, Arkansas, the compound there was also raided. You may remember this is the same compound that was raided back in September. Some children were taken into custody, and that resulted in the arrest of Tony Alamo. But right now, we want to take you live to our Steve Tellier, who is at the compound there in Fort Smith. Steve, what do you know?
Well, as you said, the raid started right around noon. There were dozens of law enforcement officials on this campus at Tony Alamo Christian Ministries in Fort Smith. As you can see, most, if not all of them, have left. That happened about 10 or 15 minutes ago. But originally, Arkansas State Police were leading the raid. Dozens of cars were parked out front here. They were helped out by Sebastian County Sheriff's deputies, the Arkansas Department of Human Services and Child Welfare, also Fort Smith Police. In addition to that, the key sticking point there is that Human Services Department was here. This building used as a daycare, particularly during the week. Up to 100 children could be inside right now. The daycare services here, no one knows exactly how many kids, but up to 100 kids could be in there at this point. We have not seen any children or adults leave the compound that weren't affiliated with law enforcement agencies. But we've been told that the raid could take several hours to complete. It's unclear whether the raid is completed or just the majority of law enforcement officials have left at this time. We've been told by a spokesman with the Arkansas State Police that this raid was ordered by a federal court in conjunction with that child porn investigation that began, as you remember, a very similar scene back in September at the Falk compound when all this got underway. Tony Alamo right now is in federal custody. He is not at these ministries, but this raid done simultaneously with another raid down in Falk and also a third undisclosed location. We've been told there was also a raid, but we don't know where or exactly what that involved at this point. We're still waiting on some more information from Arkansas State Police. And that is about it. As you can see, it's pretty quiet here. It was a hustle and bustle for about a half an hour, but most of the law enforcement officials have left now. But there has been a raid, and not many people have left. There are surely some people still inside affiliated with law enforcement trying to deal with the dozens of children that are in there that are presumed to be the target of this raid. Live in Fort Smith, I'm Steve Tellier, 4029 News.
But Steve, you said there still are children at the preschool, the daycare there, and there still are people working inside the building, right?
Presumably, because we've been on the scene since the raid started and we haven't seen a single person that wasn't affiliated with law enforcement leave this campus. Every exit around this entire building is blocked right now. So you're not going to be getting out unless law enforcement wants you to leave at this point. So we are to presume, considering it was noon on a weekday, that there are several children inside, and we have not seen any one of them being brought out at this point.
Okay, Steve, thank you very much. And we also know that in about 10 minutes, Arkansas State Police and Fort Smith Police are going to brief us, the media, on what happened during that raid. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you more details about what happened inside that compound in just a few minutes. Now let's take a look back at Tony Alamo. He's a pretty well-known name around here. In the 70s and 80s, he had a compound in Dyer. Some people would like to call it a cult. Some people do call it a cult. On September 22nd, that's when ASP and DHS raided the Alamo compound in Falk, Arkansas. The next day, Tony Alamo, he was not in custody just yet, but he called CNN and talked to reporters there about his innocence. Tony Alamo was then arrested on September 25th in Arizona. He was taken back to Texarkana on October 6th and arraigned a week later for knowingly transporting a minor across state lines. That's his charge, and aiding and abetting the transfer of a minor. Now, yesterday, custody hearings began in that raid. 6 girls were taken from the compound in Falk. They were taken into custody. Those girls range in the ages from 10 to 17 years old, and right now those children still remain in foster care. So please tune in or log in to 4029news.com for the latest on this breaking story. We will be following it closely all day. Tune in to 4029 News at 5, 6, and 10.